Scott could not make it today. Yes.
The party started. Good morning. Welcome to the Fort Myers Lee County TDC meeting this morning. It's June 11th. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated. Do a roll call, please. Here.
Here.
Tony Lappy.
Here.
Jay Johnson.
Here.
Rob Wells.
Here.
Bill White.
Good morning.
Councilman Bill Snipey.
Here.
Councilman Nigel Bullock. John Lai.
Here.
Brian Kramer. Councilman Liston, Vice Mayor of Sanford, and Councilwoman Lori Fahey are to have a forum.
Great, thank you. This time, we could get a motion to approve the May 14, 2026 TDC meeting minutes.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Jay, a second by Bill. Any public comment on that? Any objections? No objection, motion. Thank you. Any public to be heard at this time? Yep. Honorable Commissioner Albion. You have 3 minutes, John.
There's a problem if it's going to take me 3 minutes.
I'm just, thank you, sir.
Yes, thank you. First of all, good morning. I don't know if you need John Albion, for the record. I'm with SVN Commercial Partners. I just wanted to take a moment, and I know that this is Tamara's last meeting in her position. And first of all, Tamara, I wanted to come here and say thank you. Those that don't know, I'm a former Lee County Commissioner, and I was on the council, the County Commission, when Tamara was chosen, and actually when she started here, which was terrific. And Tamara, just for you today, I picked out this tie because this is the tie we got when LTU made its first direct flight to Lee County from Germany. And I thought that it would be appropriate for tourism and to really to honor you. But I just want to say thank you for the great counsel that you gave to the boards that I sat on and what you've done for the industry for all of these years. I know you have a very well-deserved retirement, but you're going to be missed. And I just want to take a moment and just say on behalf of what I went through and our boards went through, thank you for all your great, great work. We appreciate it. And good luck.
Any other public to be heard? From the podium, state your name.
Good morning. My name is Chris Mastero. I'm a resident of Fort Myers Beach, but I'm here today as a representative of Visuality. Visuality is a local nonprofit organization. We have a center downtown that's open to the public where we support LGBTQ individuals and allies, community support, peer support, and resources like that. This Saturday, we're hosting the Southwest Florida Pride Festival downtown. We've gotten a lot of positive feedback and response from that. We've sold tickets across Southwest Florida, but even beyond Southwest Florida, Delray Beach, Inglewood, Jacksonville, Oakland Park, Okeechobee, Sarasota, out of state, New York, California, Georgia, Illinois, Louisiana, Massachusetts, Michigan, Oregon. We have people coming from all over the country to visit this event, this festival this weekend. And that's just the tickets we've sold. The festival is free, open to the public. We've received emails from people all over. People are coming to Lee County for this event. They're coming to stay in hotels for this event. They're excited for this to be happening. We've hosted the event at the Alliance for the Arts for over 10 years. It stopped for a few years due to COVID, Hurricane Ian, and a lot of other complications. So we decided to reimagine the event a little bit, bring it downtown, and the city has been great to work with, so thank you to the city of Fort Myers, and we're excited to be bringing it downtown. We're hoping for a great event this year and for it to continue to do it in future years. Thank you.
Any other public comment? Okay. Back to the agenda. Any municipalities be heard?
morning, Council. Joe Petrella, Parks and Recreation Director. We have here Honey Phillips, one of our ecotourism and environmentalists that works with us, that wants to present our case for our boardwalks that we were looking to fund for the city of Cape Coral.
Good morning. So I work at Rotary Park Environmental Center. I'm the supervisor there. Ecotourism is a huge contributor to our state's economy. We have $1.4 billion came into the state's economy, according to a study from the National Park Service in 2023. So I feel like my job's pretty important. People come from all over the world to visit Florida. I say they don't come for our pavement. They come for our beautiful nature, right? So there are 11 national parks, so that 1.4 billion is just for those 11 national parks. We have 175 state parks in the state of Florida and about 600 municipal parks. According to the Florida State Parks Foundation 2025, 3.6 billion in direct economic impacts came in through for ecotourism, people coming to visit, with 28 million visitors generating that revenue. So people come from to Florida for more than just beaches. You have to do other things while you're here, right? And I do a lot of traveling, and I like to go see nature all over the world. So people come here to enjoy our nature. And we have 4 Mile Cove is put in to replace our boardwalks, and Glover Bight Boardwalk at Rotary Park. Both are shoreline access, fishing opportunities, kayaking. So people come and visit those parks. We have a lot of visitors. So 4 Mile Cove Preserve had over 57,000 visitors last year, according to our AI data, and 56% of those visitors were from outside of Cape Coral, traveling from other areas. Rotary Park had 82,000 visitors last year, and 33% of those came from outside of Cape Coral. So we do have a lot of people enjoying our ecotourism opportunities in the city of Cape Coral. So I just want you guys to take that into consideration. We have maintenance money we're asking for those 2 parks. And Tropicana Park is now officially open, and that was another thing that we were looking for, so funding for that. Well, do you have anything else to add, Jeff?
No, great job.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Any other municipalities here to be heard? Got a great interest. Yeah.
Walk-up music.
Walk-up music.
Do it again. Okay. Good morning, Ashley Anderson, City of Cape Coral. We just wanted to highlight a crowd pooling event that's coming up. Obviously, we're having 4th of July. We have our fabulous Red, White, and Boom coming up July 4th. The hours and the dates are there. We had wonderful numbers last year, and we're hoping to increase that. So feel free to share with your constituents. Additionally, on the same day, we have Freedom 5K and Kids Fun Run. This photo is running over the bridge, and you can see that there is a lot of people coming for this particular thing. It starts very early in the morning, and you can also walk up and sign up as you want. I also wanted to mention J.C. Park. Obviously, we had our ribbon cutting and our grand opening recently, last month. And I am highlighting that because we have, there's playground, there's a splash pad, there's a walking path. There is a lot of things to see there. It's beautiful. It's on the water. And so that's also another place to go and play volleyball if you wish. There's a lot of things going on there. We had a very big crowd, I believe in thousands for the grand opening. And that just goes to show you that people were really eager to come see it and see what it has to offer the community, but also visitors alike. For the tourism spotlight, I wanted to highlight Salty Native Charters. This is a veteran-owned business, and it was here at 4th of July. I don't know. I wanted to. do,
There you go.
okay, they do fishing, dolphin charters, eco tours, shelling trips, and also private and captain for hire services throughout Lee County, actually, but they're based in Cape Coral. So I wanted to highlight that as well. And that's Captain J right there. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other municipalities would like to be heard? Okay. Come back for a special presentation. We have a special presentation. We do that?
Good morning, Council. I'm Krista Wonke, Hospitality Training Manager for the Guest First program. While the VCB partners with the AHLEI to bring the Guest First program to Lee County's workforce, today we're here to actually recognize an organization who has really committed themselves to excellence in customer service. So today I would like to invite Commissioner Cecil Pendergrass as well as Tamara Pygott up to recognize the Pink Shell Resort in their recent accomplishment. Pink Shell has made service excellence a priority by developing an internal training, and this training focuses on delivering those exceptional guest services. Through this commitment, they have certified all of their frontline employees. That's 221 individuals. So please, Bill Wachulis and Mary Rose, please join us to the front to accept your Certified Guest Service Property Designation plaque.
Okay, do you want to get in front of the pink shell screen? No.
Bill, yeah, we'd love to hear a little bit about your program. So.
You want to start? I'll add in.
Great minds think alike.
Well, we were inspired by the program run by the county of providing guest first training to associates. And we wanted to embrace it for all of our associates, not just those who could come to the different classes. And we wanted to make that commitment to our associates for their own professional development, that they have this certification for life. It's not just while they stay at the Pink Shell. And so you can see from the picture here, there's Diana Romero standing in the back, who's our executive housekeeper. She actually conducts our Spanish language classes, which we're able to offer to our associates who don't speak English. The materials aren't available in Creole yet, but we're working on that. But again, we incorporated it, so we went back and did current employees, and it is now part of our orientation. So every new associate who comes into the organization goes through the certification process as part of their onboarding.
Mary, question, do you bring these, you do it at Pink Shell?
Yes, we do.
So is there a minimum number that they need in the class?
There's not a minimum number, but we find the most successful learning happens when there's about 12, a cohort of about 12, yeah.
Our challenge was just 220 employees, trying to send them to all of the different, it will never get there. So we just do it in-house. And obviously we're a larger resort and we're able to do that versus a smaller property, but if you're a larger property, that's the way to get it done and then make it part of orientation. I think the craziest thing for us we were talking about is we've instilled this in our culture, but, all of our employees preach the 10-5 rule. 10 feet you're making eye contact, 5 feet you're verbal contact. Target just came out with this, we're going to improve customer service. Well, that's been around for forever. It's the Ritz-Carlton standard, but, and that's one of the biggies for us. So it makes a difference. I will say our guest service scores from getting everybody through this training went skyrocketed. So I highly encourage it. If you can't do it in-house, going into all the sessions the VCB does is fantastic. It's definitely worth doing.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Huge congratulations to the Pink Shell, and for those that can't do it in-house, please utilize the Guest First program as a resource. We are currently in our summer session with sessions in person as well online. So a huge thank you to our partners that make that possible for us to be able to do that and give this to the community. Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations to Pink Shell. You know, we all know how important customer service is, and you know how it's changed through society, and you're bringing that back, and it's really something really important because people want to have that service when they travel. This is definitely nice to have that as a consumer. So thank you. I'm sure you'll be rewarded for many years long after this. So.
Yeah, I mean, the other plus too is if you want to look at, you know, performance every year, you're paying less to bring back a customer that's a repeat because you gave them good service. I mean, your marketing dollars go down, it's good business, and it just feeds your business, especially during the tough times.
Congratulations.
And that loyalty, year after year, generation after generation, those things matter.
Just to give you a number, Pink Shell's 33% repeat.
Right.
I think the industry average is like 18, so.
That's fantastic.
You have a great picture too. Why would you want to go back there, right?
No, it's the staff, it's not the management. The least is the manager.
Great, thank you. Congratulations.
At the end of the day, it's about the people, right? It's always about the people and how people are made to feel, for sure. All right, well, I am very happy to give my final executive director report today. And, you know, it's always nice when the numbers are up. And, I hope that there are lots of 25% increase months in the years ahead, but that's a nice one to end on for sure. And for the fiscal year to date, so this is October through April, our increase is 23%. So, you know, we have been really showing the rebound that is occurring in the community in these numbers. So with that, you can see how this month looks against past years from 19 to today. And, look at where we are relative fiscal year to date. That beating 21, wow, that is surprising. I'll leave it at that. But nice to see that rebound happening within our community, and I know it means so much to each one of the people around this table as well, so congratulations to you. STAR report, occupancy, ADR, and RevPAR all up for the month of April. I know we want those numbers to be higher, and I think they will continue to grow higher, but it is nice to see everything up and calendar year to date up.
Which is interesting, because normally when Easter falls earlier,
yes,
you don't have as strong as in April, and to be able to do that versus an earlier April. Now granted, 27's like, I think in March almost.
Yeah, it's going to be.
But even to be able to do that is just, that's a win.
That's a win, for sure. You know, I know it was not a late, it was not a late Easter, it was early in April, but to see it, I think some strength of some sporting events and other things going on in the community help pay off there as well. But, we finally slowed down a little bit on the reopenings. I think that's also helping. You know, you're not seeing that available rooms jumping like it was, with a much more moderate, I think 3 or 4%. That helps. You know, we were really battling. More rooms were opening than we could build demand for in that short a period of time. But I think those things are starting to level out. Not that we don't want more construction. We do. We want to see those coastal properties come back. But I think, you know, the pace at which we're going to have those things happen now will be much slower than we saw the last couple of years.
If I may.
Yes.
Chair? And I think it's a confidence issue as well.
Correct.
Let's not just dismiss that, because we finally had a year without a hurricane, so people are finally saying, I want to come back home to Southwest Florida to visit. So I think the confidence issue is a big part of it as well.
And you know, it's that 33% Bill's talking about. It's the people who maybe have skipped a few years and maybe tried, you know, some of our friends to the north or the south and are like, you know, I want to come back to my favorite spot. And I
believe in that.
We're seeing that happen. And, you know, we knew that was going to be true. We knew from our experience with the pandemic, they couldn't wait to come back. And I think you're seeing that same momentum here. It is very exciting to, you know, I won't say it was a normal year. We haven't had a normal year in so long. I don't remember what a normal year was like, but it felt more like a normal high season year, and that's good news for everybody. Next slide. You see how the occupancy looks over this time period. Again, like to get back up there in the 80s in April. Let's see if we can do that. Keep at it. And then vacation rental occupancy also up significantly. Not a surprise there. Again, that's your condos and your vacation rental homes also getting back online. Down a smidge at the airport, but calendar year to date up, almost 5 million passengers year to date. Great news out there. And that is my report, but I do have Leslie Ann to give you a marketing update. So please welcome Leslie Ann Thompson.
Thank you, Tam. Is that the last time I'm going to say that? Thank you, Tam. Good morning, council members of the audience. I'm pleased to be here today. We've been busy working on a lot of projects in the marketing team, and I would like to share some of those highlights with you today. As always, our goal is simple. Use the data insights that we have to plan strategic and efficient buys to create awareness, drive travel consideration, and convert interest into booked vacations here. By doing that, we support not just our hotels and vacation rentals, but also our tour providers, our attractions, and our restaurants. Heading into summer, we invested in strong, high-visibility channels designed to keep our destination top of mind for travelers booking vacations. This is the last time you're going to hear about Sports Illustrated, but I had to tell you, the wrap-up report is in. As part of our media buy with SI Swimsuit, we received a 22-page spread in the May print issue that highlighted different locations within the destination and used that as a backdrop. And then Captiva also got another 9-page spread itself. So here's some coverage by the numbers. Oh, and I wanted to point out that we were, of all the destinations, we were at page 10, so we were the first destination featured in this print issue. Here are the numbers. The combined visibility gain from the May print edition, the Wives and Girlfriends digital issue in February, the model shoot release in March, and the athlete shoot release in April, plus the sweepstakes that just concluded, resulted in a total of over 13.2 billion impressions. That includes upwards of 280 earned media placements and another 60 articles with SI itself. So I guess it's safe to say that we got our coastal recovery message out there this year with this package. And we're very happy with the results. Since May, we've been running out of home placements using digital billboards and digital transit centers in high traffic areas. Key summer markets included places like Atlanta, Orlando, Tampa, West Palm Beach, Jacksonville, and in Miami's boards will go up in August to support Island Hoppers Songwriter Festival, and those will run through September. When I was here last, I teased the Summer Nature Navigators program, but I wanted to tell you more about that now because it is live. We launched last week. The Summer Nature Navigators Pass, we wanted to create artwork that was creative and unique, and we did some hand-drawn illustrations to show little explorers throughout the destination. We thought we were very successful with that artwork. The pass itself includes over 13 points of interest across the destination, 10 of which are experiences, and it's available for download on our site. And it's valid through September 13th. The landing page highlights some of the wildlife experiences that are available on water and on land. It has a bird call gallery. It has tips on things you need to know before you come, and tips as well on the best birding spots in the area. How it works, visitors can download the pass, check into one of the participating locations, and then start earning points towards fun prizes. Some of the prizes include things like backpacks, some sticker badges, manatee stuffed toys, dolphin stuffed toys, coloring books, things like that. And we want to thank the Pink Shore Resort and Hyatt Regency Coconut Point for donating day passes towards the grand prize. If you're here today and you still want to be a part of this program, please let us know. We can still add you. But even if you don't have nature-based activities at your business, you can still get in on the action. First, tell all your visitors and guests about it. Or you can download these activity sheets from our site and share them with your guests at check-in, offer them to young diners at your restaurants, or give them to kids as they come in at your attractions at the welcome centers. Another new feature this year is our new Family Fun Quiz. This is a web-based quiz that matches families with personalized itineraries after they answer a series of questions. We ask for things like their vacation vibe. What are the age ranges? What are the group size? Are you traveling with a pet or you're not traveling with a pet? Do you like nature and wildlife? And once you answer all those questions, you're served an itinerary that's just right for you and your family. And I think we have a combination of about 16 of these different itineraries based on how you select your answers. It's a simple, user-friendly tool that can help simplify the trip planning process and move potential visitors closer to booking. Before I move into our booking-focused efforts, I want to highlight a strong engagement driver that we've been using this year, and it's been National Sweepstakes. These contests are a highly cost-effective way to build awareness, generate excitement, grow our email database, and partner with the hotel industry. And they've been delivering some really good results for us. In April, we ran a giveaway contest in partnership with Honey Fund and Hyatt Regency Coconut Point. More than 5,000 entries were submitted, and just over 2,600 people signed up to get our newsletter. Our Captiva Couples Getaway Sweepstakes reached a national audience of newly engaged couples. We worked with David's Bridal on this, and Tony, thanks for your participation here. It generated over 12,000 entries and over 130,000 web visits. It was the second most viewed page during its run. In addition to that, we got another 2,000 people who opted into emails from us. Sports Illustrated and South Seas also ran a sweepstakes, and this performed exceptionally well. We got over 8,300 submissions from that, and another 2,000 email subscribers added directly to our database. Landing page visits were over 58,000, and it was our fourth most visited page while it was running. We now have one running for National Seashell Day's 10th anniversary, and it's called the You Deserve a Shellcation Giveaway. It's already earned coverage and a feature in Forbes, which reaches 53.4 million unique monthly visitors. National coverage like this extends our reach far beyond our own and operated channels, and it reinforces our destination's relevance on the national stage. To convert booking into actual stays, we've partnered with May travel platforms where consumers actively search, compare, and book travel. For example, tiered partnership opportunities from Expedia's Co-op program allow industry partners to participate by expanding visibility and maximizing shared investment. And One Key Cash, which is Expedia's rewards program that allows members to earn points and redeem them to get discounts when they book travel on their platform. This promotion allows users to earn 2 times the points that they would when they book an eligible stay in our destination. Hopper's primary audience is made up of millennials who are tech-savvy and prefer app-based booking. Through travel vouchers, branded notifications, and social promotions, we set out to capture their attention during key booking windows. On TripAdvisor, we placed media in both domestic and international markets. The first example is a carousel ad that ran in the UK market, and the second is what we call a static boost. We also refreshed our branded hub page with a map, great information and imagery surrounding a range of activities that are available here that visitors can enjoy. And we created 2 new memory maker videos that I will share with you now. The first features a family that were coming here for the first time, mom, dad, and 3 girls, and we used a real family for this.
We've all been counting the days for this Fort Myers beach trip. A break from the usual with no set schedule, no rushing, unless it's towards the water.
Cheers!
It's easy to do things because there's something for everyone to get excited about.
This is so cool.
You're in front.
Fort Myers area has a way of making things feel effortless. The pace out here changes. You're not distracted, you're present. Yeah! It's family trips like these that you talk about for years. This is going to stay with us forever.
All right, the next video is a little bit different. This concept was speaking to the legacy customer, the people who are loyalties, who come back each year. It features a multi-gen family. The parents and grandparents used to come when the parents were kids. They now have their own kids. So one big happy group came back to introduce the grandkids to this special place.
We brought the kids to Fort Myers when they were little. This time we're back with our grandkids, discovering the area together for the first time. Some places stay with you, not just because where you are, but because of who you're with.
Such a blessing to be here with you guys. Oh, that's a big bite. It's special seeing this place through their eyes. Watching our kids become parents and watching our grandkids experience this area for the first time.
Great time with the kids, the whole family. Priceless. What we love the most is discovering something new in a place that already feels like home.
The best places are the ones where memories get passed down.
Fort Myers is our place to share those moments.
Okay, so we shot these videos back in January, February, some of the coldest days of the year, and they looked like they were warm and happy, so we were happy with the outcome. As we've also used display and native advertising to maintain a strong presence during every stage of the travel shopping journey across vendors like Kayak, Priceline, and Sojourn. As we look to fall, our strategy will shift from families towards reaching high-value couples and solo travelers looking for warm weather getaways. We continue to expand our streaming strategy through Amazon and Samsung Smart TV, as it allows us to reach households based on travel intent behaviors. A new addition to our vendor mix this year will be Nexon, a company that allows us to reach customers shopping for our competitors and convince them to come try us instead. In October, we'll start working with Matador Network on messaging around value-based travel. And come November, we will kick off our package with Travelzoo, with a focus on reaching both domestic and international audiences. For audio, we have an always-on approach. So other vendors we work with include Spotify, Pandora, and NPR. And as you know, we partner every year with iHeartMedia for Island Hopper Songwriter Festival. The Expedia One Key Cash hotel discount promotion will also continue in the fall to maintain its momentum. Another big part of the work we do behind the scenes is focused on building fresh content for social sharing and amassing high-quality photos and videos for use in our campaigns. I'll share a bit of that with you now. In a bid to make travel planning as turnkey as possible, we've begun sharing more multi-day itineraries on social that include different neighborhoods. And this 4-day carousel is an example of that. Not just was it a great engagement driver, we got some really good comments too. Things like a dream, love it. 4 days in Fort Myers is never enough. 4 days will want you wanting more. And things like love it and saving this. And for those of us in the social media world, a save and a share are the highest forms of engagement. So anytime we see people sharing and saving, we know we're doing something right. The next slide shows another format we use. And these are reels that give 1-day itineraries that encourage visitors to go out and explore a neighborhood that they're not staying in. I'll share that with you now. Our most recent production shoot also delivered 60 new images for us and 2-minute B-roll that we'll continue to add to our asset library. It was really cool because for this trip, we also got to get out to Matlacha and Cayo Costa, some of the places we haven't been able to shoot in a while. Here are a few examples of the images we received from that shoot. And we'll be using them across our advertising, social media, partner collaborations, and more. Look at his face. This was the most easy to work with talent that we've had in a while. Oh my goodness. So before I leave, I wanted to let you know that our next sales and marketing roundtable is set for July 16th. I invite you all to put it on your calendars. It will be at the DoubleTree by Hilton in Fort Myers. And then also the VCB Advertising Co-op workshop that we have each year is scheduled for August 12th, right here in this room. We look forward to seeing you, and it's an opportunity to hear what's going on with your businesses and also to share what we're doing on our end as well. And that's all I have for you today. Thank you.
Any questions for LA?
I just have a comment. Yeah, as you were looking at this, I was going through and going on the website just to see how user-friendly it is and doing the search engine. Super user-friendly. So thank you. I was just kind of keying in some different things. So it looks great. Great job.
Thank you, Holly. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Any other comments? Great. Okay. Amber, do you have anything else?
Well, I guess we'll slide into new business unless anybody else has anything they want to share during this report. I am concluding my official report. The last report.
Can we tell, don't you have some guests in the audience today?
Well, I might have one guest in the audience, so maybe I should say a special thank you. You know, we all know how hard we all work in this industry, and there's always someone behind the scenes that, you know, makes sure the kid gets picked up when they're sick, and, you know, cupcakes get dropped off, and all the things that have to happen when you're too busy working. But a special thank you to my husband. He tells me he attended the first TDC meeting I presented at 25 years ago-ish. I was like 3, let's just be clear. But, and he was 2, maybe. And so he thought he would come and join in. So a special thank you to Steve, and of course to Hayden, who is busy working and couldn't be here. But
no, I just wanted to say,
you remember the old building where we looked over the river? So that's a long time ago for those of us who could.
Thank you for letting us have her for the last 25 years, and thank you for all the phone calls after hours. I know. We got some good insurance. Thank you, because I know I've called you, I don't know how many times, on the weekends, middle of the night, and I know our lives are a little bit different now with, obviously, with our cell phones and texting back, and we have pagers, but now, thank you for everything.
Yeah,
I just want to say thank you to Steve for putting up with us and allowing you to do your job, so thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay, move on to new business. We have an amendment to the TDC bylaws.
So in your packet, and hopefully you received this a couple of days ago so you could take a look at it. As you know, House Bill 4047, excuse me, was passed by the legislature this session and was signed this past week by the governor. So we can now update our bylaws. I need a motion to accept it, but as most of you know, this adds 2 TDC members to the council. One TDC member, a voting TDC member, represents the largest municipality in this case. At the moment, Cape Coral, and there will also be an additional TDC member, a member of the community who has an interest in tourism. added, and in addition, it changes the rotation on the municipal seats. The one seat will be held by the most populous municipality. The second seat will be held by the community that generated the highest bed tax revenue. And then the third seat will rotate among the remaining municipalities. That rotation will be annual instead of biannual, which is the way it is now. We have requested for the clerk of courts to give us an update on who collected the highest revenue generated the highest revenue in bed tax in FY25 so that we can appropriately do that. I don't have that response yet. They said the email I got yesterday said we're working on it. But once we know that, of course, we have to amend the ordinance. That will go to the county commission. It requires, they have to send it to public hearing, and then there's a public hearing. First review will be on the 16th of June, and then, of course, the next commission meeting is August 4th after that, so that will be the final, the public workshop on the ordinance change. And then we'll get all the seats lined up and perfect and get the new appointees in their spots. So for fingers crossed, August or September, you'll have all 11 members of voting members seated.
I will happily make the motion to approve the amendments to the TDC bylaws.
The motion?
I'll second.
We have a second. Any public comment on that? Any objection? No objection, motion carries. Great, thank you. Okay, we're going to discussion of funding eligibility for projects outside the beach and shoreline.
So as you know, during the beach and shoreline workshop, that is a full TDC board who sits at that meeting, but I know there were a few of you who were on the road and other things going on. So there was some concern and discussion around how do we continue to look at these requests that fall outside of the beach and shoreline program, fall into that other category. Of course, working with the county attorney's office, these are eligible under the tourist development tax, but do not fall under that beach and shoreline portion. The last few years, we've had a few of these. They have fallen, a decision has been made here to recommend that the board consider funding those projects from reserves. That's the way they've been handled the past few years. But I think, I won't speak for what happened. I'll generalize. There was a lot of discussion. Wow, reserves are dwindling. And how do we continue to fund these projects going forward? Maybe we should have a different discussion, a larger discussion, hopefully with the full TDC council present, so that we can deem what's the appropriate way to go forward, what we'd like to recommend to the commission. So with that, I want to defer to the council to have this conversation.
I'll go first. You had, what, the 40% of hotels that are gone online, and you had all those bed tax revenues, a whole nother conversation. We don't have those. We don't have the money. So it comes down to two things, beaches and marketing. Mm-hmm. So we taking from one of those? My opinion is no, absolutely not. I mean, Henry Ford said the best. To stop marketing is like to turn your watch off to stop time. It doesn't make sense. And the beaches is the only reason, and we can argue back and forth, but the beaches are the reason why people come here. They may stay in Cape Coral, but they are coming to the beaches. And if you do not have the beaches, they ain't coming. So if you want to go down this road with funds being less than what we've had in the past, you're taking from one of those buckets.
I would add to that as owner-operators. When I look at the mission of what the TDC stands for, I think we have to be very, very careful. And I think if there are these funding sources, then you go straight to the BOCC for those. they have the opportunity to look at that within your budget for an outside funding source if there is a need. But I absolutely agree with Bill that that's a very slippery slope. When we received those allocation requests and saw how heavy they were, we might not have the resorts coming back for quite some time, and I think we're going to have more of a limited budget. I absolutely agree with you. If there is a funding need, we have 5 commissioners that we can go talk to as elected officials, municipalities, and ask them specifically in an area that maybe they can give some relief to. So we watch this creep, and we're going to be being watched more and more and more on how we spend these dollars. So I am in agreement with you for all the right reasons. Thank you.
I just want to say, I think all of us right now is waiting to see what happens in November, and hopefully that's a failed effort, because right now, our CIP, we had our workshop a few weeks ago for the county, and we're looking long-term too. So, we have a lot of things we have to continue doing, but we're not looking to build projects tomorrow that expect funding from TDC to fund it or to maintain it. So after November, we'll have more clarity of what all the cities and counties are going to do, obviously, and what the limitations are, because, if this fails in November, as I hope it will, the whole state homestead system, some of those members will still be coming back looking at TDC again, because everybody wants their fingers in it. So they're going to be looking at that because of just, it's unfortunate this is what they do, because they just don't have control, so they want more control of it, and we see that happening on the state level, and this is going to back to this, and it will hurt tourism. I'm not sure why we have to have this discussion every, 7 to 10 years. For some reason, we have to have that discussion. But anyway, Bill, do you have a comment?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Yeah, obviously, when you look at the requests, you would know that a member of this council that is from Cape Coral might have a differing opinion. And the opinion that I have is really based on where this whole program came from. And it came from a statewide effort to encourage and support tourism to our state, which is obviously where loads of our revenue comes from. And so not everywhere across the entire state has beach and shoreline, which is why the legislation originally specifically calls out estuaries, calls out parks, calls out boardwalks. There are, across the entire state, there are attractions that are not beach and shoreline, that attract the dollars to our area. So to ignore those in our area, since we do have incredible beaches, there is no one that can argue that. No one can argue that. And a tremendous amount of attraction here is because of those. But there are people that don't like sand, that don't like salt water, and they come here for the parks. They come here for 6 Mile Cypress Slough. They come here for 4 Mile Cove. They come here to see the spoonbills. They come here to see, things that won't be seen at the beach. And that ecotourism that was already spoken about is a great attractor to people to this area. So whether we embrace that and incorporate that in the budgeting when we take a look at the set amount that's going to be distributed and determine that a certain amount needs to be set aside for non-beach and shoreline, because it is still a tourist attraction, which is this money that is collected is supposed to go towards. It was not designed for only beach and shoreline. And so I think for us to look at it that way, I think is short-sighted, and it's not in the original intent in this statewide legislation and the opportunity to generate revenue for it. And when we think about the revenues that in all of our municipalities and our county are going to be affected by the potential referendum that's coming, these dollars will become even more important for all of the tourist attractions that we have in the area. So whether we look to, and I love savings. I love having savings. I was in that business for a long time. And so for us to have the reserves we have was incredible because of Ian and the other things that came our way. And that's what the reserves were there for. And now, today, we see the turn. we see having those dollars to keep attracting people here, throw away the thought that there's nothing to come to here anymore. We invested those savings to make sure that the people kept coming, and they're coming. And those hotel rooms are coming back, and the revenues are going to increase, and we'll have those dollars to put back into reserves. And to not fund those things that are non-beach and shoreline, I think is a travesty, because I think it was not the intent of the original legislation for the state to only support beach and shoreline. So I would respectfully ask that we consider, since we allocated all of the dollars toward beach and shoreline, I would respectfully ask that we take a look at our reserves for some of these needs, especially the boardwalks in our parks in Cape Coral. Thank you.
Thank you. Jay, then Rob.
So as we talk about beach and shoreline versus nature center, and locally and well before our time, we divided up the money that is collected from the bed tax, and part goes to beach and shoreline, part goes to marketing funding, VCB, and the other part goes to the bonds for the park, for the ballparks. And the reserves are meant for emergency use, which we've used them during COVID. We used them when we had red tide. We've used them during the hurricane, and to replace things that have been fixed since the hurricane. And I think if we start getting into the nature center and funding nature centers, we'll have to reallocate how we divide up the bed tax. I don't think it's a reserve issue, because it was a one-off last year. Last year we funded J.C. Park for the boardwalks. We funded the shared use path for Sanibel, and we did some maintenance on 4 different parks in the Cape out of reserves. And I think if we continue hitting the reserves instead of looking at how we allocate the dollars, we're going to be out of reserves real quick. And the reserves are there to make sure that when we have issues, when we have problems that we need to work out, that we have the funds to do it. And, last year was a one-off, and was happy to do it. It was, things that we were able to do and things that we should do. But then to come back this year and do 10 times the amount because it's there, I don't think makes sense to me. And I have an issue with it. So I think going forward, if we want to fund nature centers, we need to make that fund part of our budget. But then comes the question, well, do we pull it from beach and shoreline? Or do we pull it from marketing? You can't pull it from the bonds because those dollars are accounted for. So where do you pull those funds from? And I would be hard pressed to say take it out of the beach or take it out of marketing for the very reasons that Bill mentioned on the marketing, and the beach and shoreline is what we have built our reputation on. So I'm looking forward to hearing any suggestions on how to get that into our budget and not pull out of reserves. I think that reserves is important to have when we need it. We were able to do some very quick things when we had the red tide. We bought the tractors that pull the fish off the beach, the things that we can do to make immediate impacts, and we were able to do that because we had the reserves. We're able to move up the construction of the Fort Myers Beach Pier by a year because we're pulling out of reserves, because we had them for the hurricane. Most people call it a rainy day fund. Unfortunately, down here it's a hurricane fund, but you need to be prepared for whatever's coming next, and unfortunately we don't know what's coming next. And because of that, I'm hard pressed to pull out of reserves for things that are going to require additional dollars going forward to maintain as well. So that's just how I feel on that.
Rob, you had a question?
Yeah, I'm not sure I have anything new that isn't echoed by everybody else. We are here primarily to market for tourism. I mean, that's our charge. That's what the name of this whole committee is. I would be, by and large, totally opposed to spending reserves on any request annually other than a real emergency. I know that fund had gotten built up over the years primarily what I saw as a big change was when we added the extra bed tax. And then everybody said, well, when we broke it down, there was just that much more beach and shoreline money to go get. Prior to that, we figured out how to market Lee County and do projects with far less money. So I just think we have to have that be our guiding principles, what Holly mentioned. What's our name? What's our charge? The hotels rely on us to, I can tell you the hoteliers look at it like, and they're pricing themselves, that adds to their room price.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel a lot of pressure to spend that money in a way that they would feel good about. Because they're saying, hey, Rob, like, prices to I'm competing against somebody down the street, and now my price is higher. I can remember it was quite controversial when we even added the bed tax to cover for really for the baseball program. But I kind of echo others in saying, use your guiding principle in what you're doing. Don't spend reserves. We need those for when we have a real problem. And we've tossed around that extra reserve, patted each other on the back far too many times along the way in these beach and shoreline workshops, where we should have just had to say, hey, maybe it's just not on the cards. One other thing, and I've said it every beach and shoreline I've ever attended, as we build this footprint, the maintenance requests every year don't get smaller. So we continue to put boardwalks in, we continue to put it's amazing, it's great for Lee County. But the request for maintenance on these things continues to rise, which leaves us less and less every year for expanding in new projects. And eventually, maintenance gets more and more expensive. Our entire budget will just be to maintain the things that we've built up to this point. So just keep that in mind as you consider these questions. Thank you.
Tony?
Yeah, I've heard a lot and listened to a lot of it. Holly's suggestion about going to the BOCC is probably maybe an alternative to look at. I look at running my business, and there's projects I would like to do, but if I don't get the revenue in there enough to do those projects get pushed off. And when they get done, if they get done. But you do not want to, when I go into this season, and the windy season I call it, I make sure I have enough reserves, personally, for my business. And to me, that's prudent, and it's good management. So, again, the name of this is Beach and Shore, and I think that's where the primary focus needs to be. And what Rob has said is something I forgot about, but as you build out, the maintenance is going to grow, and that's a really important factor. So I'm not in favor of getting into reserves. I think we need them, and that's how I think we should stay.
Yeah, we all have seen many things happen over the last 14 years. I've been sitting different times this year between oil spills, fish kills, COVID. I can probably think of 10 things off the top of our head that every year has changed our dynamics here. Hopefully, knock on wood, there's no hurricanes this year. There's no algae issues and sea kills. And you just never know. So, John?
I just wanted to reiterate what Rob said. I think we're charged with the mission of the organization, and once again, it's driving tourism through marketing, and I think that we look at getting outside of that mission, and Beach and Shoreline is a part of that. I just echo what everyone else has said already, Commissioner and Chair, that we keep the reserves the way that they are. We know that we've needed them historically, and you just pointed out several of the reasons that we have.
Right.
So yeah, I would oppose as well.
Thank you. Bill?
I absolutely don't disagree about maintaining reserves and what reserves should be used for. Although, with that in mind, this discussion then should have been had before we allocated all the dollars. We put ourselves in this position by not considering anything other than beach and shoreline that is included in the legislation that should have been considered then. And anything outside of beach and shoreline was pushed down the road to be discussed at a later time. And that then put us in a position of only being able to say no unless dollars were available from somewhere else. And so I would just go back to the fact that while we are charged with that responsibility here, and we are, and I take that responsibility, to heart for our entire county and for everything, but with the thought that the original legislation brought from the state was to include things other than beach and shoreline that would contribute to tourism, then I think we're derelict in our duties for not considering those things as well for communities that don't have as much beach and shoreline, that do provide a lot of the revenue that fills that basket that we're in charge of distributing. So when I think about Cape Coral specifically and the volume of revenue in the bed tax that they bring to the table, which is mostly through short-term rentals that are not recognized and unable to be shown, then the ability to support the tourism that comes into that community because of a lack of beach and shoreline doesn't get supported. So,
Jay, and I'll answer that.
Bill, to respectfully disagree with you on the tax allocation. While the state, or just now we passed changes to the bylaws concerning the number of seats and the number of members. The state already passed that, but we had to pass it locally to get it, to make it happen. With the distribution of the bed tax, the same thing has occurred. While the state recognizes beach and shoreline and nature park, the rules here in Lee County, the way that that bill was put into our bylaws, we only recognize beach and shoreline. And nature centers is not a recognized funding source. So that's the reason that it was left out when we did the funding for beach and shoreline, because Lee County doesn't recognize nature centers as a funding source for tax dollars out of the bed tax. There's no bucket that is there for nature centers. So we could not take the funds that are allocated for beach and shoreline and use them on nature center projects. That's a bucket. And the money was in this bucket and the request was in this bucket, and those two can't mix. And that's why those projects have to come out of reserves and could not come out of the beach and shoreline funds. So the discussion we're having today is because we don't have a nature center funding source. Now, that could be a part of this discussion or a future discussion, but it's not there to fund nature centers out of the way that we currently have in our statutes here in Lee County of the allocation of the bed tax. And that's why we didn't discuss it at beach and shoreline, because it wasn't a beach and shoreline request. That's why we didn't discuss it at the last meeting, because again, it wasn't beach and shoreline. It's a funding source that we don't have here in Lee County. And that's part of this discussion today, that if we want to create that funding source, where do we take it from? Do we take it out of beach and shoreline? Do we take it out of marketing? Or do we take it out of the bonds? Well, the bonds are already spoken for, so now you're left with, do we market less, or do we not take care of our beach and shoreline in order to create funding source for nature centers? And I think that's the real discussion that we're having, is that nature centers don't fall statutorily under anything we can fund without coming from reserves. And so I think it's a bigger discussion than just say, take it out of beach and shorelines. It's not possible.
Yeah, I just want to follow up on a couple of points and getting back to, possibly this is a BOCC commission, because maybe they can have a different silo and stay away from the TDC funding source that's very specific. And I'll tell you, I sat on this as a voting member, non-voting member. We just additionally allowed municipalities to come and sit in as non-voting members, so they have a voice at the table. But my job is not here to say, I got to get these dollars just for Sanibel. As a voting TDC member, our job is to look at the greater good for Lee County, not just the revenue source for our individual municipalities. I will tell you, on this last allocation request, I said no to a Sanibel allocation, and it was one that fell under this, because it's my job for the BOCC as an appointee to look at what this is supposed to be for. And I talked to our city about that when they bring forward allocations. So we have to be very careful of what we're sitting here for, what we're representing. It's just not a money grab for our own municipalities. We certainly want all our municipalities to thrive, but we want to make sure that when we're given the stewardship of these dollars, that we understand specifically what it's for and adhere to that for the greater good of Lee County. And I take that very seriously.
Thanks, Commissioner. Just very simple. I spent almost 30 years in financial services, and reserves have always been for emergencies. When you start having discussions about wants as opposed to needs, so reserves are reserves, and even as a non-voting member, I would say you want to start looking at that as a bucket for future projects.
I just want to say, personally, from the county perspective, when I look at our county projects, I look at something, if we build something, we should maintain it. And I think the reserves are something that I would love to use the reserves to build something new. But when I look and I try to stress on our budget in our county throughout the, through different things, not just parks or CIP, if we build it, we should be looking at how we're going to maintain that for the future. If you build a road, you got to maintain it. So if you build a park, you got to maintain it. If you put a bench in, you got to maintain it. I just don't want to get in the practice of, even the county side, we're going to build this and we're going to expect TDC to fund it because we just don't know the future of that. Obviously, November is going to make a difference on everything. We look at everything, and I think, maybe we have this discussion next year after November passes, and we'll see what happens. But it could change. I just rather see the money be used for obviously marketing. But I will tell you, I'm that guy that goes out and talks to a lot of people. So I'm that guy who walks around a restaurant or a golf course and talk to people. And people come here for the beaches. I totally get that. People get that. But a lot of people come here to visit relatives. You know how many people come here, and they're here because their grandparents are here, or their parents live here, or they come here and they visit. And some of them, they come here, and the wives go shopping at Mercado, or they go shopping at Gold Coast Town Center. The husband stays home at the hotel with the pool with the kids, or they stay at their grandparents' house. Some never go to the beach. Some go play golf. Some go eat everywhere. I was at the Blossom Brie last month for dinner, and I talked to people out there, and they were here visiting. And but they've gone different places. So I talked to people that come here from Spain last week on a golf course, and they're here, and they did the beach one day. They went some bicycling on Sample one day. So everybody does love everything, but everybody comes here for different reasons. But I still think a lot of people just come here to visit their in-laws and their relatives. And that's why people follow each other here and move here later. But I think after November, this discussion would be more understanding in the future. Cameron, do you want to say something?
I just wanted to add, I think the challenge, and I think Jay was pointing that out, trying to comment to to Councilman Steiche's comments. The way the county ordinance is, the tourist tax is in 3 buckets. And we don't have that bucket that is for nature parks. It's not that it's not eligible in the statute, it's that the way that our ordinance in Lee County was written was focused differently. So I wanted you to understand the reason they did, I believe the reason during that discussion it was the beach and shoreline was separate was because that's a funding source. That's a specific allocation for that effort. So they didn't say we're going to take portions of that to allocate it to something else because the current ordinance is not written in a way that creates that second path. That's why you have been funding those projects historically. And I want to be fair, it's not new. We provided you with a list. Can we put that up, please? So, we've done a lot of it in the last few years, but if you look back, next sheet, please. There are some other projects back all the way back to 2004 where projects have been funded from that. It's not a lot. It's been fairly selective, but there are projects that have been funded from reserves before. So I just wanted to make sure we all understand that the county ordinance doesn't perfectly match up in terms of revenue allocation, expenditures to the state statute. It's not in conflict, it's just it only looks at certain portions of it. That's all.
Okay. Any other discussion on this topic, or good? Not good, but no more discussion. Okay, any other council information? Tamara, do we have anything else for the council?
There's some interesting readings in your packet for you.
Okay, great. We'll go to TDC members. Tony, you have anything?
Well, I could start with, I was here when the dinosaurs roamed the earth, but I'm not going to start there. But I was here, and you know, when Gladiolas Drive had gladioluses. But I was fortunate enough to be on the selection committee with Renee and Pam, and we had a lot of good candidates at that time. But we picked you two, so I'm glad I did it.
Thank you, sir.
That's great history, because I was wondering.
Yeah, now you know how it happened, right?
Yeah, so I date myself a little bit here too on this thing, because I was here before Tam was a director, and I remember Tam. There's nobody that knew the numbers better than Tam, and so I thank Tony, Renee, Pam. Who was the other one?
That was just the three of us.
So I think you have these things where sometimes a decision. It happens, and you look back on it and think of the significant impact of that decision. And obviously, Tam's become a friend, and I'm going to repeat a lot of the things, but I thought it was worth noting just a few. As I said before, it was really obvious that nobody knew the numbers at the TDC better. We talk about these buckets, these pots of money, where things are. I mean, as a new person, I think we developed a friendship because I was always getting confused as to where these buckets were, and I would always talk to Tam about it. She was always available for a call. I mean, and I thank her family for covering for her, because I would call her at different times of the day, and you always made time or got right back. I think many others would say the same. You thought about all of Lee County all the time. And in the light of this latest discussion, I think that's an interesting point. It sets a tone for all of us to consider all of Lee County whenever we make decisions at the table, and not just where we specifically represent. And I really appreciate you leading the way on that. And then being so instrumental on getting through a number of setbacks and some really positive times, too, along the way. COVID and various hurricanes probably stick out in my mind the most. And probably the most important thing to sign off on is just the staff that you assemble. I mean, looking around the room at the staff, the hard work that everybody puts in, it says everything about the leadership that you had there. So we're going to miss you a lot, and I just wanted to publicly say how much I appreciate you over the years. Thank you, Tam.
John?
Only going to get harder to follow as we go down this line, just so that you know.
I just want to say, after this is what, I'm sorry, just so everybody knows, after, or this is the rule, we're going to actually have a cake and a little celebration for Tamara here. So we're going to have more celebrations as the day goes.
You're telling me that I'm between this and cake?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, great. So
all of you.
I want to thank Renee, Tony, and Pam. So thanks for that history, for making this selection, because I remember I was managing a resort on Fort Myers Beach at the time, and I'll echo their sentiment. No one could explain to me and not make me feel silly for asking the questions that I would ask you. And so, Tam, thank you for sharing your knowledge. Thank you for me sending you a text on a Sunday night asking you if you can call me tomorrow, and you called me back like 30 seconds after every single time. Thanks for not only being a great leader, but being a good friend. I appreciate that more than you know. And when we look back, and I think you told me the first year you started was the year of the oil spill. And then we look back, we just work our way forward from there. It makes me feel like it's not me that's causing all of this. But you've got us through so much, Tam, and quite frankly, we wouldn't be the community that we are without you. To their point, there's not been one conversation we've ever had where you don't remind us that it's the greater good of the county that we're here to serve. And so I appreciate that a ton. And I think I prompted that, is what just happened there. But no, I just want to say again, thank you again for what you've done. I thank Steve for what you've done, and I congratulate you both on the years to come. I look forward to keeping up with you through social media and living my life vicariously through you.
I hope I have one that you want to live by.
Absolutely. I mean, there's breweries I know involved and a lot of FSU games. So.
Councilman?
So the Tamara train stops here for a moment. Most recently, I wanted to thank Tam and Pam because I had asked Tamara to come down and give a presentation to our city council meeting, which she did in June. Instead of a fluff presentation, it was typical, lots of numbers, and several of my fellow council members afterwards had those aha moments of, I didn't know. So thank you for that. I know Pam's going to be a very worthy successor, so I was glad to be able to introduce her. And 4 years that we've known each other, I'll just say thank you. A couple things that have happened recently. If you haven't read it in the newspapers, little old Bonita Springs last week, Michelin Guide has placed the Canary Club and the Bohemian restaurants, and they both been rated. I went to the Canary Club last night, and for a Wednesday evening, it was pretty busy. So that's just wonderful recognition for us in the downtown. Because of the drought, it's the good news on the drought, the downtown revitalization as far as Riverside Park and everything we're doing now is either on schedule or ahead of schedule, which is great for season coming in. We did have an amazing Memorial Day presentation. I do want to thank, there were a number of electeds from other cities that attended our Memorial Day, and our guest speaker, who did an amazing job, very touching presentation, former Commissioner Sandelli. How he pulled that together, considering what he was going through, was amazing. But I'd all encourage you that the idea of Memorial Day not being a holiday, but keeping the idea of what it really represents. I'm very proud that we did that. July 4th, we'll not only have fireworks in Bonita, we will have fireworks, a laser light show, and then an amazing drone show that we started last year. So invite all of you that don't have your own celebration going on. And then finally, we've got, so it's going to happen. We'll have both the splash pad and the park will be open for July 4th, for a season. And July 4th, the Riverside Park will be open so we can accommodate the 5,000 or 6,000 people that will be there. That's all I have.
And congratulations on the restaurants. I read about that as well, and I need to get down there. That's quite an accomplishment.
Bring your dollars.
So, hey, I'm a foodie, so I will do that. I'm going to start with some of our city stuff, and then I'm going to end or begin with Tam. What's going on? So we all had our hurricane season, started June 1st. Coincidentally, I was speaking to the House and Senate that day on taxes, had my own hurricane up in Tallahassee.
Oh, that. Thank you for going, by the way.
You're welcome. It was for all of us. So the education continues, right? So we are all looking forward. We're hoping we'll knock on wood and kind of have a pass again for the next couple decades. We've got our Love Sanibel back going on right now, so I encourage everyone to come and take part in the festivities and the discounts that are offered all around, and you can go on. I know that the Chamber is marketing that very well. And this is what, our third year? Is it our third year? Yep. Third year. And I really give kudos to the Van Osses from the St. Michael's Episcopal Church. Sue and Bill have been instrumental in rounding up our community, getting us together, and just giving us that boost when we've needed it, and it's carried through. Everybody, 250th birthday for the United States. God bless America. There's things going on all around. Sanibel will have a full day, as many of you will as well. We're looking forward. We hope that the rain will pass over and not affect us. We were rained out last year, but we're looking forward to our little hometown parade, which brings thousands of people every year. And I hope those streets are packed, and you're all welcome to come and visit. With Tam, I remember onboarding. I've been an owner-operator for decades, but I was fortunate enough to step into this position what about 9 years ago? And from the time that I still have my big book, how you welcomed, you've educated, you have been a mentor, you've been a phone call away as an elected official who's also an owner of a hotel. It gave a different perspective around the state. And I have turned to you for many questions, and I want to thank you for helping me be better at what I was able to do by understanding more of what you were doing and how I could bring that not only to the local, to the state, and to the federal level. So, you know, I owe you a lot in my growth. And I know for you, you're going to say it's the team. And your team is exceptional. You know, you walk in, like I said to the ladies this morning, I felt like everybody needed pom-poms because they greet us, and that's the way we're greeted every time we walk in. And I want to say thank you to all of the staff. But the tip of the spear helps make the staff what they are, and I know you're humble, but it just filters through all the way, and I'm very appreciative of that as well. I was saying I came into the airport, you know, in the last couple of days. I just got in from D.C. last night, and the welcome, you know, the smiles on your volunteers' faces coming into Lee County, that's the first thing they see. And then I saw, what was that, sunshine, you know, welcome to our sunshine. I took a picture of that last night. Thank you. You have cultivated such a welcoming community that is so different than where I go to other places. And it makes you feel like you're in a small town and in a small family, and that says a lot for everything that you do. And I hope you're next, Steve. Thank you. You know, you have, it's a sacrifice. Thank you for the sacrifice and standing beside Tam every step of the way, because it's really made this county come to a different level. And I hope your next chapter with your family and all the things, I'm looking for those beers online, things like that, is your best. And I know it will be, but thank you for giving us such a great chapter over the time that you've given us. So thank you very much, Tam.
He's been a firefighter all these years. He's always putting out fires for us and everything.
We've been through a lot. And even when I was here, I mean, we've been through a lot, but we've gotten through it, and we're doing better every day.
Let's hope it ends, that the challenge is in.
Right.
No more crazy.
It won't, and I thank you for the next leadership coming in.
You mentioned
We're going to
RSW.
work with them.
You mentioned RSW is looking good, isn't it?
Pardon me?
You mentioned RSW. You came through there this weekend.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
it's looking amazing. And it's still a hometown airport, which it'll continue to look.
Yeah, I've been out there lately. I had a tour a few months ago, and it was just amazing what's coming out there. But I do want to say something else quick before
I'm done, thank you.
Before this other room. Carol's here, Carol Obermeyer, and she's retiring from RSW soon. So I'm not sure the exact date yet. Carol, do you have a date yet? So we are losing Carol, we're losing Tamara. There's going to be some changes. So
You're dating a different part of your life. I hate to say losing.
we'll have a RSW party for Carol, but we're losing. You know, obviously all this institutional knowledge and stuff is just it's amazing. I'm so happy for you too. So thank you for everything.
Carol.
Yeah, thank you. Bill.
What a ride.
Sir.
Hurricane Charlie, housing crash, red tide, BP oil spill, COVID, Ian, and then sprinkle all the other hurricanes in there. I couldn't ask for a better person or leader, so thank you, Pam.
Jay?
So, Pam, I'm going to get to you in a moment. I do have a little bit of business. I know, right? A little bit, not a lot. So, as many of you know, the SANCAP and Greater Fort Myers Chambers are combining and consolidating, and it's created a great excitement around the community, and we're being approached by other groups that want to be part of it. And one of the groups that approached us and that we have signed an MOU with is the Florida Restaurant and Lodging Association, to where we're going to, that organization is going to become part of the Greater Fort Myers Chambers in terms of operating, and here in Lee County and Collier County. So John has put on his FRLA hat again, and we have that moving forward starting July 1. So we're looking.
For the record, I was supposed to say that, but I was too busy gushing over
Yes.
it.
So I got the text that said, "Don't forget." I forgot.
Got you on the other side.
Okay.
So that was a bit of business I had to take care of for John. But Tam, congratulations. We worked together for a while, even before this board, and you've always taken calls. Same as I think a few people have said, a text with the question, and it turns into a half-hour phone call that can happen at any time, day or night. You've never been one to say no. You've always been there to answer the questions that needed to be answered, to put the thoughts out and have those conversations to bounce things off of. And that I greatly appreciate. And everything that we've done for the community, I think it's been hit on through the hurricanes, through BP, which I almost forgot, Bill, that I didn't need that brought back, that memory back, but thank you.
Which one?
BP. I almost forgot that one. But there's been so many challenges that we've been through as a community and I was thinking back to 25 years as director, and it was a couple years after we opened up Bubba's, which amazes me because that feels like a long time ago. And the fact that you've been there all the way through, I appreciate, and whether it be stopping in for a meal just to sit and talk, or the phone calls, and everything you've done for this community. Thank you.
Bill? Thanks, and I'll get to you in a second. I just wanted to, I feel compelled to let everyone sitting around this table and anyone listening in today know that I absolutely understand that my responsibility at this table is to this organization and the representation of our county. I've sat on state boards, I've sat on national boards, and I understand I put on a different hat at that time. So I would reject any inference that I don't get that. And lastly, I would just ask you to consider that every one of us that sits around the table not only represents this organization, but one of the reasons why each of us are here in the capacity that we are is to also represent our industry that we are in or the property that we own. And so it's a multi-hat job, with the biggest hat being to represent the TDC and our entire county. And so for me to sit in this seat and not represent my industry, which happens to be a municipality, I'd be derelict in my duty to my municipality not to at least have some of those things heard. But I absolutely understand that my responsibility is to the entire county and not just to my municipality. That being said, Tam, I'm one of the babies in the group here, only been with you for 3.5 years. But the leadership that you've provided and all the sprinkling of the other hurricanes, and I actually sold my business on Fort Myers Beach the year of BP oil spill, and knew the challenges of having people, stop looking at the oil being washed off the ducks and all that stuff, and that really wasn't happening here. The work that you did to lead this organization through all of those years over the last 25 is certainly evident in where we sit today. The people that surround you, that you lead, and the example that you set. And so happy retirement, and to your husband, God bless you. We all know the type of wind beneath the wings that all of us need. So congratulations on your retirement. And the last, just wanted to let you know that with all the things happening, wanted to make you aware of an annual event that's happening this Sunday. It's a Flag Day celebration at the Veterans Memorial, right on the Veterans Memorial, just on the Cape Coral side of the bridge. That'll be at 9 o'clock in the morning on Sunday, where we honor our flag. And then just prior to Red, White, and Boom, Red, White, and Boom was already spoken of, but we have a special thing happening this 250th anniversary, controversial as it has been or may still be. We'll be raising the flag on the highest flagpole in the state of Florida, there at the base of the Cape Coral Bridge. The celebration will be at 2 p.m. And so what I'd remind you is that the Cape Coral Bridge is closed from 3 a.m. on the 4th until 3 a.m. on the 5th. So if you'd like to come to that flag raising, then you're going to have to come over either the night before and stay at the Holiday Inn Express, or the West End, so that you're there. Yeah, but if you stay at the Holiday Inn Express, you're right across the street from the flag, so it's an easy walk, and you're right there for Red, White, and Boom. But no, you have to come over the Midpoint or Hancock Ridge Parkway to get to that celebration, and it's bound to be a great day, starting off with the 5K run in the morning, the flag raising, and then Red, White, and Boom that night. Other than that, I'm very happy and pleased to serve on this organization.
Thank you, Cape Coral. So the flag raising, you can do that on the July 4th, the new flag?
On the 4th at 2 p.m.
Great, yeah, thank you guys for doing that. It's amazing you do it. As you said, it's controversial. I know a lot of things at Cape Coral are controversial for some reason, but
it's all private.
That is like
money,
a no-brainer.
Private money. There you go. Yeah, it's all private money.
It's unfortunate I hear and see that stuff. I'm like, what are they thinking? Why would that be controversial? But you know, it's just it goes with the thing. So I just want to say thank you to Tamara for everything you've done. I will tell you, so on our side, the Board of County Commissioners, one of our biggest time of the year, I think, is when we do the rotation of chairs. Who's going to get TDC? And we fight over every year, and it's because of you, Tamara. It's because of you. And seriously, I'm sorry. It's because of you and your staff and what you guys have created here in this office. It's been amazing. We joke, I joke all the time. I remember used to kid Frank Mann. He's like, son, why don't you just retire and go work for TDC? You know, I'm like, well, Frank, that's like a good idea, because if I don't beat you to it. So we always say, what would we left the county for the Board of County Commissioners? Where would we go work at in the county? It wasn't Parks and Rec, wasn't facilities, wasn't county attorney's office. Sorry, Andrea. But it was, who would not want to work across the street over here and be around flamingos and all these great people? So again, thank you for everything you've done. Thank you for dedicating your life. And Steve and everything, my family, thanks you for everything. We traveled the world together. We've seen a lot. So
absolutely.
I have to stop.
We got to stop this. It's over. Thank you. Here's what I want to say. You guys are such great advocates for this industry. You made my job easy by having a board that is passionate and cares. Nobody who does this job has a better board than this one, and I mean that genuinely. County Commission, and then of course the real people that make this happen, the people behind me, the staff. That's what makes this go. I get to be the figurehead. You know that. You work with them too. I know you call me, but they're the ones doing the work. I'll say, Commissioner called me this morning. I'm like, I got to talk to Nancy about that, or there's always someone else that's making this happen. There are 33 people who bust their butt to make tourism go well here, and I couldn't be more grateful for them. But I do want to say thank you to you. But you have made my job much, much easier by being great advocates for the tourism industry. And, I'll add a tiny bit. This legislation in November, we're going to put inordinate pressure on this tourist development tax. I know you know. But if you're listening and you're a member of the hotel industry, you need to take an active role in this activity. Because the pressure, you think the $12 million we didn't deal with today is the pressure? Oh my goodness. It's going to be all 50 million of the bed tax is going to be the pressure. And so it's going to turn up. Sorry to get on my soapbox, but this is my last chance, and I have always been Switzerland.
And you are educating.
Be aware of what you're voting on. Be aware of how it impacts your business, because there's a lot there. And I do believe that this tax will be the #1 source of supplementing those lost
So you said tax, because if you're a commercial property owner, how does it impact your tax? Your tax bill will definitely be changed.
Thank you. Really, really, really thank you. Now let's have cake.
Okay, we are adjourned.